A pretty common thing we hear nowadays is that PC gaming is growing and is much bigger than console gaming, and the reasons for that really shouldn't be very surprising or difficult to understand. PCs are more accessible than ever, PC gaming is more accessible than ever, and when you compare it to modern console gaming, it's hard to not see why so many people see the appeal. Console gaming is getting increasingly expensive, increasingly restrictive, while PC gaming is just getting more and more accessible. You know, decade-old PC hardware will get you a pretty decent gaming PC nowadays, plus you have things like the Steam Deck, plus you have major corporations like Microsoft and Sony bending over backwards to incorporate the PC into their plans. You have the wider spread and wide growth of things like emulation. Basically everyone knows what emulation is nowadays, and it really isn't surprising when reports like this come out, because the other day, Insider Gaming posted an article called PC Gaming Gained More Players Than Console in 2024, and in this article they quote stats from Newzoo, which claim that PC gaming rose 3.9% in terms of player counts year over year, from 837.5 million to 907.5 million, compared to the console gaming sphere, which grew 2.3% from 615 million to a little under 630 million. Now, I am a little skeptical of these numbers because not too long ago, numbers came out from a different source about PC gaming being well over the billion player mark. Also, I'm really not sure how we could possibly have 630 million console players. Like, that just doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, the best-selling consoles of all time sold, what, 200 million units? And the most popular console on the market right now is the Switch, which sold much less than 200 million. So I'm confused as to where the 630 million is coming from. But needless to say, the console sphere is much, much smaller than the PC sphere on a worldwide scale. That's undeniable. And like I said, the reasons are really obvious. I mean, aside from the fact that just regional differences, a lot of places around the world don't really have access to console gaming the way the Western markets do. So PC is kind of the only option, but even in the Western markets, the more like main gaming audiences that you think of when you think of the gaming audience, you know, places like the US and Asia and Europe, the main gaming markets for this industry, PC gaming is growing exponentially because of how accessible the platform has become. Meanwhile, console gaming is stagnant. You have people from Microsoft and Sony just openly talking about this, how the console market is stagnant, which makes it extra funny when reports like this come out. Yeah, that'll get things back on track, Sony. When in doubt, make things even more expensive. I'm old enough to remember when consoles got cheaper as the generation went on, but here we are in year 5 of the PS5 generation, and no, we will not drop the price. In fact, we'll make it more expensive. And then we'll scratch our heads and try to figure out why people are going to PC. But naturally, this report from Insider Gaming made a lot of people very upset, so we're gonna read the comments of this. It's been a minute since we did a nice little Twitter salt video, so here we go, another Twitter salt video. We'll look at the responses of this Insider Gaming post and see how the console fanboys and corporate slaves are taking the news that their money just isn't good enough anymore. And just a little heads up here, several people in this video are going to be referencing this part of the article where it says that according to this report, PC gaming made about $37.3 billion, while console gaming made $42.8 billion. However, I looked into where they're getting these numbers from, and it is entirely unclear where they're getting the numbers for PC gaming. The console gaming numbers seems to incorporate basically everything under the console umbrella, you know, hardware, games, subscriptions, controllers, and basically everything under the corporate console ecosystem. That's easy stuff to track. But with PC gaming, it's a bit more difficult because you have all the games from all the different game providers, but then you also have all the different hardware pieces, many of which are not classified as PC gaming hardware pieces. You know, if I go buy RAM for my computer, I buy some new sticks of RAM, is that classified as a PC gaming purchase? I don't think so, because it's technically not a PC gaming purchase. What about if I buy a new hard drive? What about if I buy a new keyboard? What about if I buy a new CPU? Even GPUs nowadays are starting to questionably be even classified as gaming tech. because GPUs are used for so many things nowadays. So I just want to point that out before we get started. A lot of people are going to try and throw shade at the PC gaming sphere because of this stat right here about how even though the PC has way more players, the console sphere still made more money, even though in the article itself that you allegedly read, you didn't look into the sources, and like I said, these sources are wildly unclear as to where they're getting the PC gaming money count from. So just keep that in mind as we get into some people very upset about the fact that more people are playing PC than console, because obviously they are. Like Mr. Pound Reborn, who says, boggles the mind how someone can call themselves a gamer and leave consoles for a soulless platform like PC. Thank goodness Nintendo is gonna slap you idiots back into reality. I never really understood this argument that the platform needs to have personality or soul. I thought the games did that. I mean, the device that I play the games on is just the device I play the games on. You never hear this about other, like, mediums. Oh man, I can't believe you're not watching your movies on an authentic Blu-ray player, and you're using a soulless platform like a different Blu-ray player. Like, you don't hear this about other mediums. I can't believe you went to go see that movie at an AMC. AMC is just soulless. You should be going to Regal Cinemas to watch that movie. Like, when you change the context, this argument just sounds fucking dumb. Because it is fucking dumb. The console is just a device that you use to play games. The PC is just a device I use to play games. Who gives a shit? I'm a gamer. I don't care about what corporation makes the box I play the games on. I am a gamer who likes the games. And one of these boxes is better for me as someone who likes games. I don't care. And the sooner you stop caring, the better we all will be. Typo Master says making less revenue than console. Red flag, the pirates have no shame, lol. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about. Like, oh, PC gaming made less revenue than console gaming. Oh, it's all because of piracy. Never mind the fact that there's like a lot of the hardware, a lot of the purchases that people make for PC gaming are entirely impossible to track for something like this. So you need to take the revenue thing with a grain of salt. If you want to compare game revenue to game revenue, that's a different conversation. But entire platform revenue to entire platform revenue is literally not possible here because of the nature of the PC. It's not one device owned by one company. But also, have you ever considered the fact that maybe the revenue, like even if these numbers were accurate, you know, even if we take these numbers and they're entirely accurate, even if the console gaming sphere is making more money off game software sales and nothing else versus the PC's game software sales and nothing else, even if that were true, which, you know, is what you're trying to equate this to, let's just say that's true. Have you ever considered the fact that maybe that's because PC gamers respect their money more? So we don't spend as much money on fewer products like you do? Games are cheaper over here. So of course more people are spending a smaller total amount of money in your fantasy scenario. Games are cheaper. That's a better thing. And again, even in your fantasy scenario, are we really acting like $37.3 billion? Are we really acting like that's a red flag amount of revenue? Like, the pirates have no shame. PC gamers, they're just pirates. They only spent $37 billion in 1 year. What pirates they all are? Question mark. Like this, like no matter how you want to look at this just isn't a winning argument. Sega Channel says, oh, billions more PCs out there and free games on Steam doesn't mean it matters though because Nintendo and PlayStation crush Steam and economics. If PlayStation crushes Steam and economics, why is PlayStation so desperate to get on Steam? That's how you know your fantasy scenario isn't real. Like, PlayStation, man, they're just doing so much better than Steam. Then why do they want to be on Steam? Why are they so desperate to get on there? Could it be because Steam is full of paying customers who will buy the thing? If PlayStation and Nintendo were crushing the PC, why wouldn't their own ecosystem be good enough for them? Also, today I learned that free games only exist on Steam, and that there's no money being generated from free games on Steam. You know, free games like Apex and Dota and Counter-Strike. Those games don't make any money because they're free. There's no revenue being generated by free games on Steam. You doofus. Noir says, coincidentally, Xbox went full third party and it's now not even a serious contender in gaming at all. I wonder where all those people went. Yeah, this is a really dumb argument that I saw a couple people actually trying to make. Like arguing that the only reason PC gaming grew more than console gaming is because all the Xbox guys went to the PC. Let me put the numbers back on screen here. There was a rise of 27 million PC gamers. According to this report, 27 million more people went to PC. You think 27 million people went from Xbox to PC? That's what you think happened? You think that's the explanation? These are the same people that say nobody plays on Xbox. Xbox is a dead platform. There's no Xbox gamers anywhere. But also, 27 million of them went to PC. You literally cannot hold both of these opinions at once. You cannot say that Xbox is dead, Xbox has no players, Xbox is super dead. Also, there were 27 million Xbox players to spare, and all of them went to the PC. And that's the only explanation for this jump in PC gaming. Tuxley says this is what PCMR is playing on those RTX 5090s they don't need, by the way, laughing emoji. And it has Steam charts showing that the top games on Steam are the multiplayer games and the new meme game that's really popular. Which, like, yeah, I mean, you got us. The most popular games on the platform are the games that exist on shared servers and shared communities, which is the same as literally every platform. If I pull up the most played games on Xbox or on PlayStation, it's going to be the multiplayer games, because those are the games that rely on people playing together. So obviously they're going to rack up the player counts more than offline single player games were, because offline single player games and the really graphically demanding games that you're trying to act like we don't play here, those games don't rely on shared servers and people playing together and like actively, consciously trying to get as many people on the servers at once as possible. I swear, console guys, you just need to stop bringing up Steam charts. It never ends well for you. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing this? Stop bringing up Steam charts if you don't know how to fucking read them. Of course the multiplayer games are the most popular games on a platform. That's how it is on every platform. Jason says, so PC had nearly 300 million more players than consoles, but generated 5 billion less in revenue. That's crazy. Arcadia says it really isn't. Modern gaming simply doesn't appeal to them as much as it does to console gamers, and when they do buy a game, they play it for far longer than any console player plays their games, which is generally true. Single-player games have a much longer lifespan on the PC than they do on the consoles. Jason Charrington then responds and says, so they gained 34 million PC players in a year just to play older games? He literally didn't say that. Having 300 million more customers, but making 5 billion less revenue is remarkable, whatever the reason is. So you could, again, it is entirely unclear where this money count comes from, first of all. Second of all, games are cheaper over here, so of course there's less revenue with more players because players are spending less money on the games, which is a good thing for the consumer. Like, we shouldn't be parading this around like it's a bad thing, like, ugh, PC gamers don't spend as much money on games. You shouldn't be spending that much money on games either. Like, we spend less over here because that's the way it fucking should be, as evidenced by the fact that it's the way it is and we're doing just fine. It is entirely sustainable for the consumer to be spending less money, and yet the console is charging you more money. Gee whiz, I wonder if those extra charges are necessary or not. Spoiler, they're not. You are being swindled openly. But also, the third point is that we keep taking this tone of like, ugh, PC gamers, man, there's just so much, there's such little money being made over there. I just can't believe how little money is being made off of those players. 37 billion. Off of this number, that is, if you know anything about PC gaming, you know this is a lowball number because of just the nature of where the number is coming from, and it's still 37 billion. You people are so stupid. Sword Out says this will slow down or fall in the next few years as GPU prices keep raises and no pandemic to hinder console availability for the next gen. Ah yes, the transition to PC is going to slow down as people keep going back to console because they have such great incentive to go back to console right now. The PS5 is more expensive than ever. The Switch 2 is the least appealing buy of all time. Meanwhile, PC is just going to keep going down the road it's been going down and keep being appealing to people. But, you know, thank goodness there's no pandemic. We're going to get things back on track for console gaming. Like, I'm sorry, if you think the pandemic is the only reason why PC gaming grew and console gaming didn't. Also, are we suggesting here that there was no hardware, like, availability problems during the pandemic for PC? Because methinks there was. This is copium of the highest degree. But we'll close with this little exchange. I like this exchange. Weenus responds and says, I love how outdated your website is that World of Warcraft still represents PC gaming. It's because the thumbnail of the article has World of Warcraft. Mixel Bixel says, oh my bad, did WoW stop being a PC game? Did it shut down? Did it jump to console? Weenus says, no, but it's a 20-year-old game that peaked 12 years ago and the space has been completely overtaken by significantly more popular games, dork. Mixel says, WoW hasn't been overtaken by anything, it's still the largest MMO played. Weenus says, hooray, it's the biggest fish in a puddle. The MMORPG genre is dead, and PC gaming has better representatives than a dying game in a dead genre. So, today I learned the MMORPG genre is dead. WoW is dead. Final Fantasy is dead. There are no MMORPGs anywhere. No one plays them. It's a dead genre. Dead genre. MMORPGs are all dead. All of them. Meanwhile, this is a picture of World of Warcraft, and you instantly knew what it was. So, methinks it's still, at the very least, quite relevant because it immediately got the point across to you of what it was representing. I love this. Like, they publish an article about PC gaming, and they have a picture of World of Warcraft, and you're like, ugh, World of Warcraft is dead. It doesn't represent PC gaming. It's a dead game. But, like, you immediately knew what it was and what it was representing. So, I think you're just wrong. Oh boy, you can probably hear it, but my nose is like inverting in on itself right now, which is weird because I feel fine. I feel totally fine, except for the fact that my nose is just plugging up. It's full of mucus and snakes. So I'm gonna fucking get some Wendy's breakfast. Did you know Wendy's has breakfast burritos now? I learned that today. Like, I learned that just now that Wendy's has breakfast burritos. I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna do the Doofus Club, and then I'll edit this, and I'll put it up, and then I'm recording this very early in the day. I'm a morning boy. I'm an early bird. So I'm gonna put this video up, and then I'm gonna go get Wendy's. I'll get myself a breakfast Baconator. I'll try the breakfast burrito. I'll get a frosty cream cold brew. I'll eat like a pig, and then I'm gonna go lift heavy rocks for like an hour. So I can keep up my jacked ass form. I'm sorry I said jacked ass. What I meant was I'm in great shape, and I like being in shape. I like being muscular, and I'm going to use my big Wendy's feast as fuel to lift all the heavy rocks that I'm going to lift. I didn't have to say jacked ass, but I did anyways. So we're just gonna move on from that. Sentinakage and Non-Voila hates Matty Master Killer Joe from Seattle has not so big peen. The Return of the King when he's upside down. Gurren Dai non pon po kopo non pon po fuck partial I said fartshul. Partial mean 8 Wild Gamer 3001 JJ Dusty tickles my toes in the middle of the night. Multi binary deviant Voxeldo Cloaked Onyx and Omega JJ Dusty hail de nouveau pub cod stop it cod man 4372 G fuck WX fuck. The Gamer 127YT Joe, have you tried Crab Champions? Father Joe, when are you joining voice chat? Celarot, Gold Pyrax, Zombie Fan, Alderot 01, Penguin, Piss, Doug, Nigsy, Smile, Blast 1314, Snake Eyes 327, Devastator 2000, Edge Knight 1789, Raptor 1, It's Gamer Word, Not Gamer World, Get It Right, Joey, Sad Your Freighter, MK2396E, I'm still in the boat, Joe, please get help. No, I'm not going to, just swim. Idiot, swim out of it. Henthai, Ex Machina Gamma, Elite Wolf, Fire Hazard 105, Epion 504, Klepto Penguin, Banshee, GWXSS, Doom, Kaiju, Rasp the Wolf, Evanco, Okie Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Really Zero, Gaming with Dead People, Bender Fondue, All Games Vidya, the big Japanese name I can't read, Max Killer, V2 Gaming, Biscuit 1101, PS5 has Infinite Bacon, Wild Horizon, Forbidden West Remastered, Pope Raph of the Rat King, Jessica Shepard, Riki's Pal, Riki Tiki Tabby, Muskie, Watch Tangled for the first time since I was a kid. It's good. Creamy the Steel Angel, bought 10 subs, now I can't afford to switch to. Sergeant Jason Bond, Baron Von Vodaham, Cyrus, forgot to change names, now I can't afford to fix it. Jackson 940. Joe, improv the same, okay? Use that creative brain. Brian. Go get a lottery ticket. Asshole. Hinoka's #1 Saudi fan, Creed Warrior 23, Max Chev, Herman's Nintendo Defense Reaction Vid, When Chap, Totally Insane, Vendetta, Audrey, Black Cobra, it's Night of Cypher. I actually am going to do a... I actually am going to look into Harmon Smith's Nintendo stuff. I was letting him get it all out of his system before I went and dove into that nonsense. Probably do that in the next few days. It's my job. I got to do that. I forget where I left off. I'll just go back here. Totally Insane, Vendetta, Audrey, Black Cobra, Night of Cypher, Reborn Me with the fan art, ML04. I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray with the fan art. Switch 2 is more of a scam than PS5 Pro. Wolf of Midnight, Stick Rider, Pig Venus, Kev Dog 1992, Steve Wayne Studios, Film Kraken, The Beesoms, Own Gaming, Tariq Brown, Tom Spokane, Hero Culture, The Orange Skate, Mag and Neck, Severin Evans, Pip Spawning 03, It's the Carolina Freaking Y, Mixer Pow Pow, Y Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Gob Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Grimsy, Sengoku, Rants, Hangman for Hire, Eldon the Noble, Frost Crystal, Jimmy Chops, Biogenesis, Ian in Action, Poppy Pinkus 97, Mega Key, Kushka, The Scuffy Skull, Ghost Toe, Remember the Tell, Nintendo, Lower Your Prices, JoJo 6, Fast Growth, Femtega, Raptor Tim, The Amazing Blight Man, Blue Hook, Willie JJ, Snorlaxon, Show Your Feet, Joe, Don't Be a Pussy, Jody Breeze, Smitty Worker, Jaegerman Jensen, Maclaro Massimo, to make advertisement, Diego Garcia, Oblivion Remake is coming, Yahoo! JJ Desi, 8 My Kibikins, I American Idiot, Rebel Blood 80, Antoine Horton, Oracle, I Order Pizza from Papa John's, Oh No, It's Justin, Rand, Roy, 20 Wayne, Bloodline, Extreme Wolf 7, Joy Scoops, My Name is Mud, Joe Taco, Joe Lick My Feet, Now He Won't Call Me Back, Ting Tang, Walla Walla Big Bang Remastered, Wanna Be Ho-Oh, Jidge, Westa, Billet 310 Char, Bob C, I Am Veg, The Groovy Banana, Curtin Alice Back, The Scrum Master, and your next line is, I need to poop. Okay, Toodles. I actually don't need to poop. Because I haven't had the Wendy's yet. Okay, Toodles.